As well, for those who are not going to be able to see on Twitter.
Yeah, tell us
what's
up, JJ.
Yeah, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, we are now into the. Sorry, let me do it again. We are now in the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen. The breakout series, the final strike. Yes, sirree. And it is going to be Tekka Dynasty running it back against Sotoras Esports.
That's right. We've seen them do so much today. We've seen them fight ferociously. We've seen the strategery of Tekka Dynasty. We've seen the ferocity of Sotoras Esports. But what we haven't seen is what maps you're going to play on.
That is true.
I'm really looking forward to just figuring out, we know Tekka is a very strategic team, but Sotoras holding their spot so high, it seems like they're okay on just about anything. I'm really curious to see like where their strengths, where their weaknesses will be, and if we're gonna get another Mountain R&D.
There we go. I just want to find out as well what are the maps that we're gonna be playing off, for the grand finals. And by the way, before everyone, forgets, or for those who are new into the broadcast as well, the grand finals is going to be played in a best of 5 series. So, previously, in the previous games that we've had, it's only best of 3. So, first to 2 wins, but this time it is a best of 5, meaning, teams will have to win 3 times.
And these teams have proven that, it doesn't matter how many times they need to fight, how many times they need to win. They step up to the challenge every single time, and they produce very phenomenal results. We've even seen just the ferocity of folks in the lower bracket just fight as hard as they would if they were in the upper brackets as well. So, placement kind of doesn't mean too much just because we've seen so many people come back from lower bracket. But, again, it's just a matter of figuring out what mistakes you've made, finding out the strengths and weaknesses of your team and the enemy team. You know how the saying goes, know yourself, know your enemy, and victory is beyond, defeat is beyond reach, But Mountain R&D is map 1. Mountain R&D.
That's what you wanted.
We're going back.
That's what you wanted anyway, right? You wanted the Mountain R&D Lab. We're going to be getting it. Thermal Plant is going to be banned. Flag Fort. We're not going to be seeing any Flag Fort. Only one time for today's broadcast. Unfortunately, not going to be any more.
Look at this from Tekka, the Underground Command Center. That screams strategy. And it's very interesting too because the idea that Harbor. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Oh wow. I mean, again, there are but so many maps in this game. Harbor has to. Yeah, we gotta go to Harbor. And it's very interesting because we've seen Tekka Dynasty excel on Harbor. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what that one looks like. Map 4 is going to be Quarry, chosen by Tekka Dynasty, and the decider in the end is Colony Trading Post.
That is true. So again, Mountain R&D Lab, Underground Command Center, Harbor City, Quarry. First, are we going to be seeing today? By the way, and Colony Trading Post. All
right, listen. There's just but so many hours in the day, and I wish we could all just spend this time together forever. But we got Gundam games to do. So I mean, I feel away because this is the final bout. This is it.
Exactly.
Who you feeling, JJ? Who you feel?
How am I feeling? I can praise the sun. And speaking of the sunrise is coming up to us as we head to the grand finals. Tekka Dynasty versus Sotoras Esports will be back. We'll just set it up.
You hear that?
We are cool people, so don't go anywhere because you are too. cool for us as well. So please stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Gundam fights all set, ready, let's go!
I don't wanna cry. Wanna cry.
It'll just fall to me.
Don't lick it. No ASMR.
Please set your GP base as we are now in on the grandest finals. TKD Tekka Dynasty versus SCR Sotoras Esports. Game number 1.
I did it before, do it again. They fought before, they're going to fight again. But this time, who really will win? That is a question on everyone's mind. Tekka Dynasty showing in the past, present, and future that they are strategists of the battlefield. They know the ins and outs, the corners, the crevices. They eat, sleep, dream Mountain
Yes,
R&D.
sirree.
But at the
And
same
here
time,
we are.
At the same time,
Labsky particle dispersal, ladies and gentlemen. And look at that immediate.
look at that! Look at that! This is
Wow, the aggression.
Four down already. Boy, these guys are not holding anything back. They are here for blood, oil, sweat, and tears. And we're going to see it all laid out in front of us in the next 5 minutes.
Wow, they really got our energy, huh? So like we haven't even like taken a breath yet, and they're already like taking each other out immediately. Oh my goodness.
Esports taking the point, collecting these objectives, holding it down. They will collect 41% if they're able to hold on to this point for the next 36 seconds. And Tekka Dynasty has to figure out, okay, do we let them have this? Do we, do we just let them have this? Because sometimes the fight you have trying to take the point, obviously that time's still going to be ticking down, and there may not be enough time for that fight to even be worth having that point, especially if you're only going to get 10 seconds out of it.
No, yeah, for sure. And just like that, this is what I've been talking about to you earlier, before we actually started the game, how TKD is going to, how TKD is going to adjust against SCR. And as it is right now, SCR is still having the lead, the advantage against Tekka Dynasty.
Real Fat Man doing what he can on Zaku range. We've seen them be phenomenal fighting force, and it looks like they're putting themselves in a flanking position too. If you notice, they're gonna go ahead and get out of that, but they definitely are doing a great job of just putting themselves in this position where they're constantly harassing the enemy team. And it's working for them. They might have whiffed that there, but they did whiff it into a position where they're safe. They missed the ult, but they're safe in body. So,
that was a very beautiful micro decision, micro flick as well, just to ensure that, yes, I might be, with it, but at least I am safe. I'm not going to give you any sort of score or whatever. But here you go. Here comes the Ashmar just going to fly away in, but Sotoras Esports still, having the lead, has control over a point.
I just want to point out these names that we are seeing. All of these people pretty much have proven that as pilots, they're very competent. They understand where they need to be and what they need to be doing on the battlefield at any given time. So, seeing One Trick Tony's ultimate up, you got Garma's ultimate up on Sotoras. They're holding the point. They're holding these ults, and it looks like everyone is holding these ults as well. Tekka Dynasty has at least 4 or 5 ults ready to rock. When these ults are out, it's just going to be one big battle. I mean, it just freaking colony crashing levels of destruction are about to happen.
But here you go as well. Everyone from TKD have access to that of their G maneuvers. Are we going to see?
Oh, here they go. They're coming out.
So here comes the Nimbus. Okay, not quite yet. Okay, going to not hit. Actually hits the wall instead. But here comes the laser beam from the Dom.
Oh, wasn't able to win their fight, especially because it looked like it turned into a 2v1. And then, Tekka Dynasty still, they're holding their ults. At least 4 of them are holding onto their ults right now. And the same thing can be said for Sotoras. They're not really just dumping their ults on the enemy team. They're looking for strategic opportunities to use them. Kazabi, being able to just be this force with these funnels and just do damage. It's happening. It's out. The damage is working.
At the very least, TKD is slowly but surely catching up. This has been their game plan since earlier today. They are on the losing end for the early game, but then just like anyone of an anime eating senzu bean at the very last moment goes back up, and that's what's happening right now with Tekka Dynasty. But unfortunately though, Sotoras Esports is going to be able to take control of the target point, but in just a bit, point B is going to be open for everyone to take.
We're heading back to point B, where Sotoras basically, they started their whole crusade of capturing that point and doing it very strongly and very openly. It's kind of wild to that double stun from the bar was amazing. Yeah.
Hades systems up as well.
Sotoras just needs to capture this point and they can close it out. Tekka Dynasty is going to go and do that for them. A robot who we've seen very strong on Gundam Unicorn is just throwing those ults out. Every time I look at him, it looks like he always has a new ultimate available for him. And then you got Nostalgia, who's playing Zaku range, trying to create some value, but ends up getting taken out by another Zaku range ultimate. It's just, like I said before, everyone's just doing what they can in the small amount of time that they can use it in. Hades just being popped to clear the point, giving the point back to Sotoras. And, it looks like they got it. There's enough red on that point to close it out.
And it seems as if, okay, not quite yet, not quite yet, not
Hawk
quite
Light's
yet,
back
not
on.
quite yet.
Nostalgia's
Okay,
on.
extra time.
Hawk
Ooh,
Light,
Hawk
Hawk
Light taking down 2.
Effect with the
Okay.
Molly.
Here comes the Nimbus.
Round complete.
And there you go. Sotoras Esports takes round 1. Once again, guys, it's still round
It's
1.
it's
There's
just
still a
round
lot
one,
more.
game 1. You know, it's round 1, game 1. It really, it really
Noise
makes me wonder if there's any level of fatigue coming from these teams, just because of the high impact, high momentum opponents that they've been playing against all day long. But yeah.
I am pretty sure there is, but
Mhm.
they just gonna have to power through, just like that certain individual right now talking, right? I just have to power through.
Well, I know Hawklight's definitely powering through with that 23k damage, sitting at
Yeah,
the
dude,
top,
right?
a world apart of everyone else. It's just Dom does damage.
Plus, at the same time, the adrenaline rush as well. That knowing the fact that this is already the grand finals, the last one, the final
Yeah.
game, the final match, the final series is just bringing them up, to keep on continuing from playing the game. So here we are right now, round number 2.
We got a lot of high ground action happening between the two teams. Again, point A is the one that they're working to take. But, I think what I like the most about this is how Sotoras was just said, we're going to go over there and be there. But Tekka Dynasty was like, okay, we're the strategy team. We're going to go to Seaside and make our way over that way, pushing Sotoras into a corner where there is no area for them to escape. They're taking, there's only one health pack over there between so many players. Nostalgia is using Marsai, which is phenomenal just because there's so much crowd control with that one unit alone. But again, Tekka Dynasty is known to be the team with a lot of the strategy between the two. See if that can be enough.
Yeah, that is going to be the big question for this match, as Sotoras Esports is still trying to catch up against CKD for
Look at
round
Boone. Boone is
2.
hungry. Look at him. Look at Boone. Boone's looking for a meal. You would think that Boone's health is restored every time they get a kill.
Right.
So hungry. Look at that. And they get one. Look at that.
Oh, wow,
Off
gets
of a
one.
robot. Look at that.
Exactly. And man, this guy is just amazing to see, especially if they have been playing, the Barbie since earlier.
Real fat man with that Hawk slash up and ready to go. Just looking for an opponent.
Here we go.
There's
Try to catch
right.
in
There's
high
the
ground
ultimates coming
damage.
out.
Ooh. That's going to be
Royal
2.
Fat man. Getting 2 picks. Looks like they're trying to suppress Hawk there. Can't do damage from the floor. I learned that the hard way.
Okay.
We have 53 seconds left on point on point C. And Tekka Dynasty is leading with 43. But Sotoras is saying, we're not out just yet. But it looks like enough of them were too far away from the point. You might as well counter them out with Tekka Dynasty getting the point back. Sotoras working to get that back, and it looks like they do. Sotoras holding back onto that point, occupying C for just a little bit longer. You got Boons walking around on the floor just trying to make sure that no one comes in, and if they do, they're going right back to spawn. A robot on Tekka Dynasty's ultimate is up, ready and available, just looking for shots. And, they just really need to get B, because I'd say C is now lost to them with about 5 seconds left on that clock. Both teams are going to have to start setting up for B, with Tekka Dynasty supposedly having a better advantage since they're not on a point.
And here you go. Few seconds before everything else moves to point B, as everyone else, right? But GKD and SCR is slowly but surely moving to point B, wanting to get the positional advantage. There There you go. One. And here we go. B point is now open for everyone to take. And there you go.
The
Look at
block
what's
from the
happening right
Sasagi.
now.
Mm-hmm.
3v3. Nimbus is going to be popped up as well.
Immediately saying, I'm not the only, don't just look at Hawklight. There's another Dom. It's right here.
Wow.
One trick Tony getting the revive. Very nice. Remember, you can't do damage from the floor. I have to point out, by the way, that is phenomenal bomb placement. It's one of those things where it's like, sometimes the enemy has tunnel vision and they don't really notice his bombs on the wall there. They hit one, they hit the second, and they go, who's hitting me? And they back into the third. You got yourself killed. Even though they don't do too much damage, they do just enough if the enemy is at a low health. And I just also want to point out that's a great little spot that they're hitting from. The Dom's hitting the wall there. It's because Dom does splash damage. He's unlocking in about 3 seconds with Sotoras in the lead on that. This is it. Robot's ult coming out. Point is not fully up yet. Yeah, you can't. Hey, you're not gonna catch him. You're just not gonna catch him. Zaku range is a very slippery unit, and even though I have to admit, even though the robot did not successfully get any kills, they did deter some people from moving in. Boone trying to just take out a robot. Sometimes it's very good to take out that healer, especially if they're the backbone of the team. The robot is on point, but it looks like they're alone, holding down against 2 others. However, enemy team does have the high ground. A robot is literally in there by themselves. Oh no, with no support. That objective going to Sotoras. Now listen, they can close it out here with 79 and rising to 100. We would love to see Tekka Dynasty just pull out one of the strategy cards and strategy cards and just saying, hey, this is it. We're going to play our hand right here. We've been trying to do this the entire time. Looks like they do actually taking the point. Oh, and just look, it's just, you can't make this up. This is the final objective. If they hold this long enough, they have this match giving them a game 3. But if they don't, then that's Taurus moving them into game 2.
There you go. SCR currently at 88 points. Sorry, 89 points. Extra time.
This is Sotoras.
And that is it. Sotoras.
It's really interesting when you look at the letters Sotoras. I just keep thinking strength. It's STR. If you're a gamer, that's the stat. Strength right there. And so what advantages they may not be able to take in strategy, they muscle through. And there's one thing I have to admit, when you looked at the ultimates from Tekka Dynasty, one person had ultimate, and the Sotoras was just, they had enough. They had enough ultimate economy to facilitate taking the point and holding the point. And it's rough. It's rough when you're in that final few seconds and there's no other option. You don't have an ultimate available. 2 of your guys are down. You're not really sure. Like, if I go in there, yeah, I'll prolong it a second or two. But if everyone's respawning, what do we do? But I think in a situation like this, it's just game 1. That's okay. It's coin flip. Someone has to win this. We can still come back. And I think that's their mentality right now.
No, yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, given the fact that Sotoras Esports, right, going against Tekka Dynasty, they already won 2-0 against Sotoras Esports, right, and then they already just won their first game as well into the grand finals. That is a huge momentum shift, especially when TKD has been winning their lower brackets, right. But going back to Sotoro, that is a huge morale and momentum shift towards that of Sotoras Esports. So again, I'm still looking forward to the game when TKD would be able to adjust and answer back against Sotoras Esports. And we know we'll be finding that off at the same time when we come back as we prepare game number 2. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a bit. Say what you want. Game number 2. Sotoras Esports versus Tekka Dynasty. Would Tekka Dynasty be able to retain the crown, or would Sotoras Esports be able to poke it out of TKD? Let's find out together for game number 2 of the grand finals.
It's amazing again just to see these players play at this level. And I think, at the end of the day, huge shout out to everyone that's participating, everyone that plays Gundam Evolution. This scene is amazing. I've never seen more of a supporting scene and just such a cool game, overall. But as we jump in, really just want to point out that Underground Command Center is a map that is all about momentum. It's about taking advantage of opportunities. It's about finding openings, exploiting weaknesses, and taking up space. So in this map, you do have to capture the first checkpoint, and then you have to plant the bomb and then defend the bomb. So for the most part right now, with Tekka Dynasty on defense, they're trying to do whatever they can to just keep Sotoras getting in there and making space. And we're having a really big fight right now, and it looks like, again, Sotoras is doing just that. They're trying to just get in and create openings and create opportunities and take this first checkpoint. But we've seen this before. Tekka Dynasty has proven time and time again, strategy is in the core of their gameplay.
Well, yeah, for sure. The question is, though, would Satoru be able, right, to just tear down the walls here by TKD, as we know that this team has been very specially defensive kind of team.
The momentum on these maps are very different than R&D. So again, a lot of it is all about, how can I do this? Can we take the first objective? Yeah, they just did. So we got Sotoras taking the first objective, which is phenomenal. They got the checkpoint to them. Anytime they die, they'll respawn right from there. You got Tekka Dynasty being pushed back. Now they're closer to their spawn. They're closer to the objective. Sotoras is currently planting. There it is with the first bomb at point A. And both teams are basically, here to defend and defuse and prevent a defuse. So, hey, the hardest part is here.
So, 43 seconds before the first point gets destroyed, moving over into that of the second.
Oh, look at all of them there. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Just healing up, just trying to get some repairs here, but they still need to disarm the Mega Charge.
It's very interesting too, because the way that they're playing and they're all grouped up together like that, it makes it very hard to fight, because there's 5 of them together, and if one person peeks around the corner, that's 5 against 1.
Right.
We saw that the Ash used the ult there, but by all means, all of them could have just moved out of the way. If you see an Ash in front of you, you just step out. You just step to the side. But it looks like enough has happened where Sotoras is going to capture the first point, moving us into the second objective of. This is the first time we've seen the second objective unlocked all day, right?
Yeah. And at the same time, I think TKD just gave it away, just so that they could position themselves into the second point. What do you think about that?
I do think that can be a thing, especially if it's just hey, we got this. Because the interesting thing about the second objective is it feels like there's more opportunities on the defensive side, because there's only 2 openings for the most part.
Right.
There's a door right next. There's a door right here that they're going into, and then a door on the left. And that's the only way you're going to get into the A and B bomb. A has already been planted, and Sotoras is just they're taking up space and they're taking advantage of it. Tekka Dynasty, like we've seen before, they're really good at putting a strategy together and making it work. But we need to see that happen, especially since they didn't defuse the first bomb, and the second one is currently ticking away.
And here you go, the final. Oh wow, the final Mega Charge. It's gonna be, you know.
It's being
Oh, wow,
disarmed.
here comes the
Being
disarm.
okay.
Oh, never mind. Ashley gets stopped. Ashley gets stopped as well, but here comes, you know, the new Gundam as well, trying to disarm. But never mind though. Satoru.
Oh wait, you see he's in the corner there? Wait, did they not? They didn't notice. Wait, someone was in the corner. He was healing up. Unruly was in the corner on and there were two people.
So
It's the other Pale Rider from Sotoras was threw a health pack out, but then I think the new Gundam on Sotoras was also there, and he didn't see that the Pale Rider from Tekka Dynasty was just in that corner, like just I hope no one notices me.
Now that's really interesting, just because the fact that, you know, it has been so quick. Sotoras Esports here, you know, winning that round very quickly, very hastily. Hawklight still at the very top of the list in terms of damage at 13k. Actually, no, it's Garma Zabi right now. No, Keicho actually. Keicho at the very top of the list at 14k.
Yeah, maps like this, you know, damage means a lot, but there's so many opportunities to outplay your opponent. You know, planting a bomb is just you can avoid the entire there. I've been, you know, you've seen situations where you can just avoid the entire team. I think at this level, no one's really going to let someone slip through. But you know, if you got a unit that's sneaky enough to do that, they can just go behind the enemy team, maybe fly to the side, plant the bomb, and if everyone's at the waypoint, forces everyone to go, oh wait, we need to go defuse that. We can't hold both points. You know, there's even a saying in military strategy, and the idea that if your team is spread out too far, then you're weak on all points. We do know that Tekka Dynasty is really good at grouping up and staying together, but so far Sotoras has just been really competent at muscling through. Maybe it's the Barb pick. You know, it could just be that.
It could be. But here and out, though, what's going to be the play of the game here is TKD wants to get the relay point as early as possible, and as you have mentioned, you know, destroy the first point here, while Sotoras Esports is just going to ask them to respectfully please leave.
I just want to point something out real quick. Tekka Dynasty, I don't know if you realize the strategy behind this mode, this way that they decided to engage the point. Instead of them going to the left, they went to the right. They went to the right using that big hill as cover. So it really reduced the amount of incoming damage, and it allowed them to get closer. And you see how we were saying before earlier about just Tekka Dynasty's ability to be strategic on these maps. They were able to close space without being under fire. So they didn't have to fight to move up this far. And again, they have so much momentum right now that it doesn't look like they're slowing down whatsoever, and they're forcing Sotoras to just be pushed back constantly. Again, really want to point out how clever it was for them to use that big mountain going to the right as one big cover for the entire team.
Wow, here you go. Disarm, Mega Charge at B if you don't want it to blow up your faces. Here we go. Let's find out how Sotoras is going to stop this one.
I'm going to call it effect. They're shooting through the grate there. Phenomenal. It's a great way to just get some damage in and still have a little bit of cover. But you got Garma fighting Dom, and Garma just has a lot of advantages right there. Look at it. Yeah, but again, it's total team kill.
Team kill.
It's the Barb. You know, at the end of it, Barb strong. Barb bunga. Barb strong.
There's nothing else to say about Barb.
No, Barb strong.
Really. Especially the moment that you allow Barbie to just get in, it's, well, just stand up, dude. Just stand up and clean the dishes. Clean everything in your house, and only then will you be able to respond back.
I really want to point out
after
how
getting this stand.
They have a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. Zaku Rain, lots of damage in a very short amount of time. Barb, lots of damage in a very short amount of time. Even Sazabi, lots of damage in a very short amount of time. And then they also have shields with New Gundam and Hyperion. So there is a lot of counterplay available to them. They can wipe 1 or 2 units, or even 3 or more, depending on their placements. And with a minute and 35 seconds left on the clock, they have a lot of momentum in their favor, and they have the defensive capabilities to keep Tekka on their toes, especially since Tekka works best when they have a plan of action.
Here we go. Sotoras Esports.
There's Tekka Dynasty doing what they do well. They group up, they wait, and then they find a weakness in the defense, and they try and exploit it. Looks like they are going in on the right-hand side. They're trying to create some momentum, doing 300 damage. Remember, Dom does 300 damage with every hit, and it looks like Hyperion was able to also do some stuff as well. But even though that ult went out, they weren't able to secure all of the kills that they were able to hit. And the thing about
look at that.
Sotoras,
The bong.
Right.
And the bong from Diggles. Going to be able to take down too.
Sotoras holding that point, making Tekka Dynasty reorganize with this final push. And again, Tekka's used so many ults. Sazabi's is up. New Gundams. I'm sorry. Unicorns is out. You got the funnels. You got the single target. You got the single target doing damage. It's so very high. But that's not enough. That's not enough. Someone tried to plant, which was a very smart move that removed them from the team fight, but it looks like that definitely wasn't a smart idea. 5 seconds left. Teams wiped. That's it.
And that is it. Just like that. Man, it's almost
Sotoras.
over. We are now currently at 2-0 in favor of Sotoras Esports. What is currently happening?
It's really interesting because Sotoras, they've been in the upper bracket the entire time. They've been just doing whatever they can to hold on to that space up there. It seems like, every time they play against a team, they slowly start to take whatever tactics from that team. We did not see this level of strategy when they were fighting in previous teams, but they knew they were up against Tekka. They knew that Tekka is just really good when it comes to employing strategy. And they said, you know what? Hey, we know this is a very strategic team that we're up against. Let's use a little of their strategy against them. And it worked out. It definitely worked out. But I definitely really want to highlight how smart it was for Tekka to come in, use the right-hand side, use the entire mountain, just gain space and momentum, and just have a really good first push, because for a lot of teams, it's very hard to get out of that spawn.
No, yeah, for sure. But also, with that being said, we are now currently at 2-0. 2-0 in favor of Sotoras Esports, meaning they only need one more game in order for them to win. And before we head into that, we're going to be setting things up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Yeah, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Can you feel that?
This is what?
Welcome back, everybody. I am
This-
CyberEggton, joined by JJ Kuhn, and we are about to watch what could potentially be the last match between Tekka Dynasty and Sotoras Esports.
Yeah, if and only if Sotoras Esports win this final match, but otherwise we are still in a best of 5 format. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Tekka Dynasty versus Sotoras Esports Grand Finals.
Oh man, this is going to be so good. Both teams have fought tooth and nail to stay on top or rise from the grave. And, you know, one of the things about this map in particular is your vulnerabilities are shown here. This is Harbor. This is where high ground and low ground collide. This is where boys become men. This is the map that the community fears the most. And I love it. I love it.
Nobody likes playing in Harbor City, but watching people play in Harbor City,
Yes.
man, it is a treat.
All right, Hawklight looking for their first target.
Here we go. Here we go.
I just want to point
Let's
out,
find
a lot of teams right
Yeah.
here, they'll try to move as quickly as they can out of this first point, because the longer you stay in there, the more
harder it
opportunities-
is.
Yeah, the more harder it is to get out. I mean, One Trick Tony is always going to be the brave one to just throw themselves into the fire. Love to see it. But right now, we got so much going on from Effect, a Robot, Nostalgia. They're trying to create openings for their team. Royal Fat Man actually using Pale Rider this time around. Nozaku Range, which is a huge surprise. Just goes to show how wide range these pilots have when it comes to using mobile suits. But too many are down right now in Tekka Dynasty, and they're definitely going to have to fall back.
No, yeah, for sure. But look at that, though. Satoru is doing it once again. There's going to be 5 down, 5 units down. No, make that 6. Finally, everyone is going to take it down inside of TKD, and they need to once again repeat repeat from 0.
That's very interesting because there's only one health pack here, you know? There's one across the way. There's one way down that way there that we were just looking at. But there's really only one health pack that's going to fill you back up. So you really can't stay there too long, especially because this is a game of 6v6. So the health pack economy starts to suffer if you have 2 of your allies that are on low health, all needing a health pack. But that doesn't seem to be a problem for Tekka Dynasty right now, as they finally figured out to gain some space, gain some momentum, pushing Sotoras back, which can be a very dangerous thing, seeing as Sotoras right now is leading. Garma was able to get some get a little ult in there, but it doesn't seem like that was enough.
Not quite yet, indeed. And here you go, Tekka Dynasty. Are they going to be able to finally secure this? Yes, they will. But the question is, would they be able to push point B? There we go. Coming in on the choke point.
I actually love this overhead view just because it, you know, these moments give us the ability to see the placements of both teams, and you always see the Hyperion up front. They will suffer for it, but they are always just trying to create some space. It was a nice follow-up, though. It didn't really pan out, and Ruli is just still trying to just hold in there and stay alive. But yeah, that's gonna have to be a reset coming from Tekka.
And there you go. You know, just a bit more is all they need to get in on, you know, the B point. We have Nostalgia with the Butterfly ready up and running in just a bit. Anytime, gonna be fired up as well. go.
Oh man, yeah, it's one of those things again where Sotoras is just they're in it, they're trying to just hold on to their space as much as they can. Tekka Dynasty is creeping up ever so slightly. Sotoras is being pushed back with so many of their units under half health or respawning, and they're not running a unicorn, so they really don't have any form of restoration to keep them in the front lines and keep them refreshed. Yeah, there are health packs around, there aren't as many as you think, and not many of them will fill you up as much. I actually don't think there's any 3-point, right? I don't think there's any 3.1s on the boat here. But again, Tekka Dynasty is slowly creeping up, slowly making and gaining momentum and space. And Sotoras is really being pushed back to their spawn. I love that angle because you see that everyone's, at least you got a good 3 or 4 people focusing on the right side, and you got Nostalgia just creeping in on the left. That ultimate just came out. There it is.
Actually
uses
the butterfly effect.
Trying to create value, was able to get one down. Still getting shot at, was able to avoid some of the shots, but you can only expect another ultimate to come out. This time it's from Sotoras with one trick. Tony just trying to make some room and some space, but then you have Hyperion who hyped a little too far.
No!
Fell a little too far. Fell a little too far as well. But there it is, the other Hyperion, a robot saying, I will not be a spectator. I am the main event. Creating so much opportunity for Tekka Dynasty to continue their reign. Round 1 to Tekka Dynasty.
See, that's the thing, right? Like, it wasn't that quick as well that Tekka Dynasty was able to, like, finish that, taking 2 scores. Unfortunately, so they only have like 58. Once we do get the overtime, right? Overtime round, they will only have 58 seconds for them to actually get in on the first point later down the road. But SCR, if they want to, get that 3-0, they would have to, get both of the points, as early as possible if they can.
I just really want to point out Asor being such a MVP when it comes to just using Sazabi in all of the right ways, using the axe to flying up to the axe, gaining some momentum, scanning for their team. You'd be surprised how much of a support unit Sazabi can be, because information wins wars. That's just how it works at the end of the day. If you know where the enemy is, you know where you can what you can exploit. If you know where the enemy is, you know where you should go, and you also know where you should not go. Because sometimes it's just, Sun Tzu said it best, if you're trying to fight a team, sometimes you have to avoid where they are strong and then go where they are weak, and then use that to your advantage.
But here you go. In just 10 seconds, we will find out whether or not we will go to game number 4, right? Or not.
There we go. Both units, both teams ready and rolling. Like I said before, the Sazabi's high in the sky, scanning and just making sure that their allies know where the enemy team is. One trick Tony did pay for it with a lot of their health bar, but Hawklight is still in the fight. No ultimate yet as everything just started, only about 10% closing into that. Nostalgia jumping through the rooftops, a revive effect. And if you look here, you see Unruly on the side, in a very good flank opportunity. However, it looks like they're running from the funnels. It's all hot. Those funnels ended up taking them out. And Tekka Dynasty is just licking their wounds right now, as they only have about three people up. It's their point to hold, and they're slowly kind of trickling down. More folks are going to come in and try and help defend, but Sotoras right now is slowly creeping into that objective.
And they just did, actually, they just need a little bit of a follow-up as well, just so that they can secure this A point. Nostalgia going to be pushed back just a bit here. And look at them, there's already 5. No, all of them are actually in on the A point right now.
Now, we called it out earlier.
How quick
there's only 1 there, so it's actually going to take a lot longer for them to capture A. If there are 3 people on point, it moves a lot faster.
There we
Yes,
go.
there
Now
it is.
4.
Moves a
There
lot
we go.
faster when you at least have 3 people on that point. Which, if you just have 1 or 2 on that point, that might work against you because the enemy
Yeah.
team can now
Yep.
set up.
They catch up.
Yeah, you're giving them time to catch up. But it looks like they were able to capture that in full. And so Sotoras grouping themselves together. Sazabi's axe is out. And sometimes you'll see that follow-up. It's very interesting. I forgot who said it, but someone was like, yeah, Sazabi's never followed their axe. And I'm like, no, they do. Definitely competitive.
But yeah, with that being said, let's see. Man, Sotoras just coming in hard right now. Pushing themselves, forcing themselves into that other choke point. Will they be able to take down 2? 1 more? Yes, sirree. That is the game, the name of the game here. And they're going to have some repairs here for Keisha. But before we go back to that, just a huge shout outs here for Omni Batty for actually, finally allowing us to reach our goal for the Land Fest of 500 USD.
Oh, they fall. No, they
back.
didn't, but they definitely are out. It looks like we're definitely in a situation where things are getting very hot and heavy with so many people on the objective. Tekka Dynasty is able to recapture the point from what it looks like, and they are running a unicorn, which gives them a lot of sustainability. And sometimes sustainability is the name of the game. It's just, it keeps you from having to fall back. It keeps your front lines refreshed. However, Sotoras is just using damage as their. They don't need sustainability. They just need the enemy dead. And it's a very, 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 very strong-minded way to win games. But it looks like Tekka Dynasty is starting to crack just a little at the seams because you have Sotoras moving in, holding the point, creating some opportunities, but you have Hawklight using her ultimate on the Dom and coming through a robot, trying to get as many picks as they can before they are down.
Man,
You only have 2 alive on Sotoras 3. I have to say, Tekka has so far been the king when it comes to these revives. Their team's out, but they're not. They're down, but they're definitely not out.
Sotoras Esports still has 2 minutes left, or at least a minute left before they reach about the same amount of time that TKD has left for the overtime. But as this at this point on, TKD is really defending it really well.
I just want to point out real quick.
So
Right hand side, look at that. They find. You know what I love about the Taurus is they find an opening and they just all instinctually go in on that side. And Tekka Dynasty has moved themselves so far back. It's made that it just makes it so that hey, I have a gun.
Oh wow,
why do I need to get closer to you? See what I mean? Look at that. Tekka Dynasty is really
4,
taking advantage of
5.
landing their shots. That's what
Wow, beautiful. Coming in from TKD. This might just be their wake-up call, finally. And Nostalgia, likewise, has Butterfly. And you don't want to get hit by the Butterfly, not when you are on the choke point.
Yeah, but you know what? It looks like, for the most part, Taurus also, they all have ult. They all, with the exception of the Ashe, they all have ults ready to go. That Screaming Nimbus is out, creating room, making opportunity, taking Hawklight down. Oh, but there's the revive. See what I mean? You could hit someone for all the damage in the world, but if they get revived, all you did was waste your G maneuver. And it looks like that's what happened.
That's true.
But we got about 30 seconds left on the clock with Sotoras coming together, grouping up. They all have ultimates except for their Dom. Something's got to happen right now, but we all see the G maneuver from the turn A on Tekka Dynasty. It's hot. It's ready. It's just waiting. It's just at any moment now, but all we know is everyone's using whatever ults they have.
Oh, here comes the Butterfly.
Here's the Butterfly.
The enemy is capturing.
I don't know, people are on the point, so they're actually using that
trick.
Butterfly to get back to it.
3, 2,
Tony single-handedly trying to get in some extra time, but unfortunately,
There it
he
is.
alone will
Turn
not help you.
A Gundam. GG.
TKD finally getting their first win. We are now at 2-1. 2-1 is our score, and we are going to be heading into game number 4.
So don't count me out just yet. It is one of those things. Hey, I'm still here. I'm living. I'm still breathing. I'm still ready to fight. Don't count me out just yet. Love to see
Don't
it.
count us out.
Right.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Everyone here, is still watching. And again, we might just head into game number 5. This might be a reverse sweep. We'll never know. It might be just TKD, Tekka Dynasty, just woke up and is now choosing violence. But let's find out together when we come back for game number 4, only here at the Breakout Series, the final strike, Tekka Dynasty versus Sotoras Esports. Finally got it corrected.
All right. We are back. Welcome back, everybody. This energetic Gundam Evolution Breakout Series final match. Maybe. Could be.
We never know. We
Tekka
cannot
Dynasty
know.
versus
Yeah.
Sotoras Esports. Putting themselves
This
in
might
position.
be it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this might
To
be it. This
defend.
might not be it. We might be looking over a best of 7.
Would you say bracket reset? Is that what you said? And start all over from the beginning.
Yeah. Actually, it started off from.
It's Saturday, right? Everyone has time. Yeah, we could go for another like 7 hours, right? I just want to point out we got Royal Fat Man back on Zaku range, which is a very deadly thing. Sotoras only needs, I believe Sotoras just needs to win this. Yeah, and then it's it. You know, so Tekka Dynasty sitting nice and pretty on defense just needs to make sure that when the time comes, they can get their points and keep things going. But you know, Sotoras really again. They know the rules. They know how this works. They have a barb.
For sure. But here you go. 4 minutes. You know, a minute has already passed. Sotoras is still trying to push in as Tekka Dynasty is defending this with their lives. Defending this relay point with their lives.
I gotta admit, I do love from that overhead shot there. Tekka Dynasty, we've said it time and time again, they use strategy to their advantage, which means they're very strong on defensive maps. And then if you just look at that layout there, a lot of them are on the right-hand side. That building is being used to negate a lot of incoming damage from Sotoras. And then, again, you got the Dom hanging out. You got Hawklight hanging out on the side, just because if he takes too much damage, he actually has a really chunky health pack available to him. In moments like this, you definitely will see a lot of teams just, you know, poking and waiting for G maneuvers to build, because with them being so grouped up the way they are, Barbados can just go in and pop his ult and do some major damage.
There we go. Look at that. Team wipe for Sotoras Esports. Wow. That's actually quite surprising as well. Given how they have been like getting all the opportunities and like I would call is getting all of the momentum as well from the first 2 games. But Tekka Dynasty, just 1 game is all they needed to actually shut down Sotoras.
FX getting 3 kills.
And another team wipe. That is the
trade.
Second time around.
Hawklight was the only one to go down. You know, again, I just really want to point out that Tekka Dynasty is using these corners to their advantage. They're poking with AoE damage. They all have their G maneuvers up and available. Sazabi, as you can expect, is giving them information so they know where they need. Right. There's more happening than what you can see. Boone is trying to get a pick, but the problem with that is, as Barb, if you go in and get a pick, everyone can focus you because you're behind enemy lines right now. And the trades just aren't justified.
And another team wipe, TKT. What happened?
The Dynasties, this is their map. This, you know, the game's been out for several months now. We've all been here. We all know how this map works. And for a lot of teams, it's the proving grounds if they can even get to the checkpoint. This is no different. You know, you just keep your allies healthy. You look out for one another. It's very easy to just turn around.
Man, we are at 1 minute left.
Sotoras finally getting to contest the objective. It looks like they do. They're finally able to take it, pushing Tekka Dynasty back. You got a bomb plant. Okay.
Here we go, finally. Going to try to extend the team fight. Yes, they will.
Now you also got to keep in mind, though, anytime there is a team wipe, that means a team is going to come back as a team. So sometimes team wipes can work it as a disadvantage because, well, now you just unintentionally grouped up the team.
Well, that's a good thing, though. As Sotoras is slowly but surely trying to get in more time.
That was the fastest Royal Fat Man I've ever seen, and that disarm did go through.
10 seconds remaining. 5.
You know, in a situation like this, it's kind of okay to just give them that space. It's like, oh, hey, they took that. Fine. Well, you know, we shouldn't have any problem disarming. Oh wait, was that? Oh, it was. Oh, that's
Oh,
the. Wait a minute.
oh.
Did you see what I saw? They're I think they were hitting it so that they could extend it for a few seconds just to keep the match going. Like they weren't able to actually like plant, but if they could like press the button for a second and get it going, and then just like
Right.
maybe win a fight and then go back to it, that would buy them enough time. But I think the part I love the most at the end, the Barb used the ult to cover ground, and if in a perfect world, maybe if they had a sniper on their team to take out the person that was above ground, that was a phenomenal use of the ultimate because we did see 2 bombs going at the same time. That was very cool. It's very cool to see a Barb ult that wasn't used to kill, but to cover space.
Now, going into this round, this is going to be a very tall order for Sotoras Esports, just because of the fact that they cannot let TKD score one time, not even one time, if they want to win 3-1 against TKD. But otherwise, we'll be moving into game number 5.
I have to admit the stakes are very high. Sotoras knows that they struggled on the attack, and it took the final few seconds for them to even get inside. I think Tekka Dynasty might understand the layout of this area very, very intimately because they just got finished defending on it. I mean, we'll find out in a second, depending on how quickly they are able to override and overrun Sotoras. And, I just hope that Sotoras can at least wipe Tekka a couple of times,
Yeah, just to, running it back.
Right. But there it is. Whoa, look at that big. Whoa, Sazabi was able to take up so much space, get in, and live in. Still alive? No, they got taken out. But still, did you notice how everyone just looked behind them? They were like, Sazabi just moved in on us. What the heck? Bold movements like that can sometimes be very important because, in that situation where everyone's looking at the Sazabi that's on the other side, Sazabi's allies can just go, oh, hey, let's take everyone out while their backs are turned.
No, yeah, for sure. But at the same time, right, like, at the very least, Sotoras is doing a phenomenal job here from defending this relay point against
Sazabi
Tekka
Axe
Dynasty.
going out, making space, moving over.
Ooh.
The Sora's health is still, okay, it just dropped down. But you know what, in all that chaos, you can do things like this, and I wonder if it's going to work out and in their favor. But there are times where it's like, can you sacrifice one person to gain the objective?
Fight for control of the target area. We've successfully captured the waypoint. 3 minutes remaining.
Looks like, yeah, no, it looks like that did not work. Sotoras was able to neutralize Tekka's bold movements of just, hey, let's just throw the Sazabi in who has the most amount of health, maybe survivability as well, to just create a distraction, and we'll all follow up with that.
Here we go.
Looks like the third time's the charm. They're trying it again. However, this Dom is in a very, very strong spot. But it seems to be happening every time. I'm noticing a pattern here. Every time Tekka Dynasty decides to use that strategy, we'll just throw in our Sazabi. That's when Sotoras actually moves forward. And they're like, well, if you're going to throw him in there, we're going to kind of ignore him, and we're going to take everyone else out. Because now it's a 6v5.
Right. But at the same time, there's only 2 minutes left. All they need to suffer for is just 2 more minutes. There we go. There's going to be 2 down, though, into the side of Sotoras Esports.
Yeah, it looks like Tekka Dynasty was able to just overwhelm Sotoras. Yeah, and they're in. They have the checkpoint. They're in. That was a beautiful Dom ult, because you know what that's going to do? Even if it doesn't necessarily hit anyone, if his team is trailing behind, his team now has a speed boost, which is very unique because Dom is the only one in this game that can give their allies movement speed buffs. So it does create a phenomenal, a strong momentum for the team that Dom is on. And there it is. There's a charge. There's a charge planted at point A. One Trick Tony's going to hang on there with 54 health in a dream. Gets taken out by a robot's ultimate there. Unicorn is very, very strong in situations like this, especially when you have a very clear visual of the point. 4 seconds left on this bomb. Being disarmed. Oh no, there we go.
There we go.
Tekka Dynasty saying, don't count us out just yet. It's unruly. Ooh. Well done, being unruly. Love to see it.
We are going to be heading into game number 5. It is... Why is my camera too high?
Sorry. It's been a long day with mobile suit oil spilling all over the place. Maybe that's just what happened. So, some grease got over there. Cam flew up a bit. But I just really want to point out that what I love about these teams is they're here to play. They're here to fight. They're here to entertain. And they're giving us that. This could have ended, an hour ago. But instead, they're just like, no. This is our one shot, our one opportunity. Arms just, hands are sweaty, knees weak. Someone's mom probably made spaghetti, but at the end of the day, they're not eating yet. They're fighting. They're here to show us their fighting spirit, and we're here to receive it. And I have to admit, Tekka Dynasty, Sotoras Esports, you too, the eyes of the world are all on you.
Yes, sir. And again, for both of these teams, one more game is all they need for them to win. Could be either teams, it could be Sotoras Esports, could be Tekka Dynasties, but we'll find out together when we come back after this short break.
I know. So good. So good, though.
Finally.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the decider. This is it. The winner will stand victorious, and the loser, well, will
Your
be
mission is to
celebrated.
destroy both target objectives.
No,
Welcome
sirree.
to Colony
Yes.
Trading Post.
Oh man, the grand finals, the last match of the day, of the stream, could go either way. Could go to Tekka Dynasty, could go to Sotoras Esports. We'll never know until the end.
You know, it's going to be a very close game because, like we said before, Tekka Dynasty they are the strategists of our age. You can see a lot of the experience that they've gained over the months of playing together, playing the game. They're employing it, and it's just great. It works. It's pulled them out of rough situations. But Sotoras, these guys just seem to be, I don't know, they're on a whole other level when it comes to adapting and overcoming. And when you look at what they've gone through and just like, you know, how they've been able to just stay up in the upper bracket, it seems like after every match, they just try to employ something that the enemy team is doing to work for them. And that's the whole idea of competitive gameplay. Hit a wall, overcome, challenge, and improve. Just continuously trying to challenge yourself and improve.
Yes, sirree, but here you go. Some poking damage, but unfortunately going to be punished here. That is Nor Bossman. Okay, Gundam in just a bit. They're going to be able to answer back. No.
Point out we got some
quite
signature units as well, as we always see on this map. Both teams are running Sazabi for the scanning ability. Both teams are running Ashmere for the air superiority. And both teams are running Zaku range. And as we've noticed as well, you know, Pale Rider is also a namesay on a lot of these teams. Pale Rider is able to just keep sustainability in the front lines and, you know, heal up their allies in the back lines with that health pack. Just such a helpful tool to just, you know, maybe you fall back a bit, throw your health pack out for an ally, or throw it out for yourself, just so you can keep yourself in the fight.
But here you go, though. Man, TKD here is still not able to, you know, get in and push in some mega charges, as, you know, Sotoras Esports is, you know, defending this very well against Tekka Dynasty.
If you look at the ultimate charge right now, you got Tekka Dynasty, you know, that Hawklight. We've seen them around. We've seen what they can do with that Dom. They're sitting at 66%, and they're going to try maybe to, you know, combine that with Unruly. However, Unruly's got taken out, sitting at 67% on the ult there. But Royal Fatman really is the one you need to keep an eye on. Even though they were just down, they ended up getting an ultimate. It's just, you know, these G maneuvers can be such game changers. So it's also very interesting. You got both of them fighting right around the corner of each other with it was a Boone.
Oh, here we go. The mega charge is gonna get planted.
Bullying that Sazabi.
There you go. That's gonna be the first mega charge of the game here, as Sigiri was able to, you know, finally put that Ras on a.
There's a defuse. Yeah. Snore Bossman, we haven't talked about Snore all that much, but they've definitely been an unsung hero of a lot of these games, and their Pale Rider play has just been exceptional. Giving their allies the ability to just defuse, and they're like, don't worry, I got this, I'll pop my ult. However, a robot is being so sneaky. You saw him waiting in the corner over there, fighting One Trick Tony and Royal Fatman. It would be a very, very, very interesting day if Gundam Unicorn was able to take out a Sazabi and a Zaku range.
Right, but still not done though with the first point. You know, for TKD, Nostalgia though does have access to Melee's G maneuver. There's that.
There it is. There we go. We got that G maneuver coming from New Gundam, just adding a shield. But you know what? You're still vulnerable on the inside. You're still that gooey soft nougat of a Gundam inside of that hard shield on the outside. It's very satisfying to get in there and just do that damage, especially if there's a Zaku range. Man, Zaku range is all about playing up close, getting in there, whispering in your ear, "Hey, I'm about to take you down." And it looks like that's what they did.
And here you go, 30 seconds.
There's one trick Tony, low on health, but ult is out. It's a very dangerous situation to be in.
Here we go. The Mega Charge is gonna be like, what we call is forcing the overtime. But the question is, would Sotoras Esports be able to disarm this
charge
just at the right timing?
4, 3,
Here we go.
2, 1.
They're all moving in. They are all moving in here. So it's a very interesting situation that they're in. You only just need one person to just... And there it is. They're starting to discharge. They have enough of them there. Everyone's coming in on all sides.
There we
but
go.
Not enough time.
Beautiful. Coming in from Sotoras Esports. Now, here's the thing, right?
99.9.
Here's the thing. Sotoras Esports just needs to break 1 point. Just one Mega Charge point. And all that will do is ensure their win.
That's right. That's right.
It is easier said than done. Yeah. For sure. I do understand that. Yeah, they're going to be winning. They're going to be grand champions just after 1 point. But it's easier said than done. Especially that they are going off against Tekka Dynasty.
Royal Fat Man is at 10 kills, 1 death. That's how slippery and sneaky the Zaku range is in these games. Zaku range is such a powerhouse when it comes to just being able to dump your load of damage and then just get out of there. Anything turns sour, you just get out of there. You can be in a situation where you see your allies are out there doing a lot of the damage, but you're doing the cleanup. So, it doesn't necessarily mean they got 10 kills all on their own by themselves. No, this is Gundam Evolution. This is a team game, 6v6. Every person matters. It just means that they were there when someone needed to go. And that says a lot.
But here we go. The last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Gates are open.
We'll now find out. This is the final round.
Oh,
to
looked
find
like
out
Fat Man said, let me go this way instead.
Who's going to be the grand champion of Final Strike?
All right, looks like they decided to mostly go through the checkpoint, which is very smart. Ash does not have to conform to that. Ash lives high in the sky, flying twice as high. But, it's just they need basically the entirety of that first objective. And they're going to make it happen. Like I said, they have a Barb. And it feels like at this point, Barb's ability to just go, oh, are you in the fight? Not for much longer. I'm going to send you back to spawn. That's a very strong ability to have.
Look at that, the gold blue Gundam as well.
Look at that grab, look at that flip, look at that twit, look at that lip. Beautiful. Stargate says, not today. Get out of here.
See, the only time what they're doing is try to push in into the Mega Charge spots here, points rather, so that they can finally put this to rest. But TKD is not making that job easy.
Right. There it is. It looks like the first plant's going down, and it is up. Sotoras not giving up hope.
And besides, they were able to take down a lot as well.
Really, look at that! Oh man, it's just one of those things. Now Sotoras is there. They are on the objective. They have aerial superiority. They have one trick Tony on the ground. They have again, they
30 seconds.
They had they still have a Barb, and Boone has shown time and time again that Barb is a machine that bullies Sazabi.
20 seconds.
There's another defuse attempt. Did not go through. There's another defuse attempt.
Oh, they're gonna get stopped.
Oh, it does not go through.
It's not.
Sotoras.
And that is it, I think.
There we go.
There we go. Finally, very beautifully done here by Sotoras Esports. GG's. They are your final strike. The Breakout Series Tournament champions.
MVP from Snore Bossman, who definitely did a lot of really strong work in that last match. You know, I gotta say, Gundam Evolution.
Wow.
You're doing it. You're really doing it. You're putting these people out here in the world. You're giving them a platform to allow them to show off their fighting spirit. Gosh darn Gundam Evolution. Wow. What next? What next? Thank you everyone for joining us for the 2023 Breakout Series. JJ-kun, you know, today has just been a tremendously beautiful day. It's just all these players have been doing so phenomenally well. And then you have, you know, teams like Sotoras who just have been here. They've been in the upper bracket and they just have that staying power.
No, yeah, they just brought in, you know, those momentums and those morale shifts from, you know, the upper bracket. And just made themselves win all the way through without losing a single series.